Right, there we go. Hello, good evening. This is yet another just practice session. Learning how to stream, kind of just walking through things I think would be interesting to watch back in retrospect, but then also kind of just practicing being live, I guess. If you haven't seen one of these before, hello, I'm Amy. I'm a certified Notion consultant, but I also do a bunch of other bits and bobs. But at the moment, this channel is just me practicing Notion, showing you how to build stuff. The other ones I've done have been a bit more ad lib, but I thought today I would actually have a target of something to recreate with a little bit extra. So watching the Make with Notion stuff that came out the other day, or last week, I guess. There's a couple of things in there that I think would be good to show, just to see where it fits in Notion, how you can start using it, where I would use it maybe. And to do that, I'm going to stick with my initial plan of going through, hang on, what is this? I mean, yeah, can't really help that. Yeah, so I'm just going to go through what I was originally planning to do, which is to recreate a dashboard that I shared in our recent meetup in London, just kind of show how I built that, how you can kind of lay stuff out on a page. I'm also going to show, so this is something that came up at Make with Notion as a new feature. So there's this new thing, customize layout, which affects what the page looks like. I'm going to walk through that a little bit. I'm also going to showcase forms. So if you didn't see Make with Notion, it's basically a way for you to enter data into these databases without needing to create a new row. It will give you a new view where you have a bunch of text fields. You can control which fields are in there. Hello, hi, good to see you. Yeah, just kicking off, just getting started. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do with forms, is just kind of show how it would apply to existing databases. And then finally, if I've got a bit of time, I'm going to run through what's new in automation. So there is a lot to dig into there. So I think I will just show you what I think is interesting and maybe give you a quick example of something you can go away and try. So what I'm planning to build roughly is this. So this is a dashboard I walked through at the event in London. It's supposed to be kind of like a dashboard for me and my partner to coordinate what needs doing in the house and when, to have a list of things that we would want to see. Admittedly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't use this as frequently as I should, but I thought this was a really nice simple case to walk through today, and it means that I can kind of send this video to the people who were there who asked me how I built it, but I didn't have time to go through the whole thing. So yep, without much other delay, I guess I'll jump in. So for speed here, what I've done is I've taken the databases that were on that original dashboard and I've just kind of pulled in the basic versions into here. If you want to see a little bit more about creating these databases in the first place, I've gone into it on my other videos. So I think there's one where I talked about formulas, where I showed you how to make databases. The student one as well, I touched on how to make these. So if you want to go back and look at those afterwards, it will kind of show you how to get to this stage. But for now, I will jump in. So what's my plan? Let's start with arranging things on a page. That one feels a bit simpler. So you can see here, actually, that's a really good example. I have this kind of expanding text kind of drop down, and it's within a call out. So it looks like it's a button. The way you will make these sort of bordered areas in Notion is, so it's called a call out, make writing stand out. And typically you will see these with the, if I can click it, icon. So this is kind of, you know, alerts when you're using websites and stuff. It's kind of what these are intended for, but people have started using them just for general layout. So what I like to do to start with is create a couple of these. And you can change the color of them, I guess. So color orange, if you wanted something a bit more vibrant, let's go for yellow in this one. And then to create the kind of 2-column layout I have on this original page, all you have to do is hover. On the left, there's like this sort of 6 dots, drag to move. And you can drag these boxes kind of next to each other. You see the blue line indicates where this call out is going to end up. So if you hold it over here and let go, it creates a column. It's just something that I've seen come up a lot, but I feel like it's important to say it every time, just in case I'm talking to someone who hasn't yet seen that magic. Because for me, that's what unlocked layouts for me, was understanding that I could make columns. If you hover over here, you can resize them. So yeah, that's a big thing Notion has that I like to bring up every time. So now let's start, if I can remember the layout of them. So on the left here, we had two callouts and then one. So that's what I'm going to do here. Duplicate, and then this one can be, just make it green. Then on this right side was where our films database is going to go. And if there's a extra space down there, you can delete it. The tasks can go up on the left here. And then the chores can go there. Again, you can delete the extra spaces at the bottom just to make it a bit neater. So already it's looking a bit more dashboardy. You know, I'm using colors to emphasize it, but you can see already it's a bit more visual than before. I'm also going to add a space there just to really make it a bit clean. So now we have our things arranged on the page. I think one thing else I'm going to do is play around with the layouts. So at the moment, they're all tables. It's not very visual. And so what I'm going to do is thinking about what's the best way to see each of these. So these are the list of films, and I have kind of imagey thumbnails for each of them. So I think a gallery view would be quite nice for this one. Going into layout, then gallery. And the card preview can be the thumbnail on that table. It's another way to categorize these. I'm also going to make it smaller. Then, let's see, if I wanted to categorize by whether it's a film or a series, group by, what did I call that on the original? There you go. So now it's grouped by film and series. Then this tag here comes a little bit obsolete. So you can hide properties here by going into properties, hiding type. But then I also might want to know like where I can go to watch these things. So source. So here, they're not all the series available on Disney. There's a BBC one, and now I can see that by glancing over. So now that's a little bit more visually appealing. Let's do the same for this list. So this is just a list of to-dos with a status of whether it's done or not. That's just a true false. Who it's assigned to, so it's either me or my partner. If it has a due date, that goes in here. And then just some auditing bits and pieces, which I will get to later. And then this button just, I can show you actually. This button just changes the thing, changes the status on this page to true. It's quite a simple one, but in the original layout I had, you can see that I'd hidden the checkbox. I just thought that having the done button was a bit cleaner, so that's how you would do that. So let's recreate that here. So that was a list layout. Then, hang on, that's a little bit dramatic. There we go. Then with the properties, it's already, so hide everything except for the done action button. So if I had the status here, it's just a checkbox, which you might like visually, just being able to check stuff off. That's clean enough, but I quite like the done button. You could also show like who it's assigned to. So say for example, I'm not responsible for this. So I can see that I don't have to do this, but I do have to do this one. And then, but what if I wanted to just have my things here rather than, so say there was like 20 things to do and I only needed to do 4. Is there a simple way to only show my things? Yes. So let's duplicate this view. Oh no, I'm just being silly. My tasks. And then I will filter it by whether it's, actually either I could do, let's do me. And I've accidentally created one there. So, oh no, it's because I'm logged in as this one. Okay. Let's remove that, put in me. Okay, there's some odd permissioning thing going on here. Remove and add me. There we go. So what happens when you manage multiple workspaces? Permissions get a little bit wobbly sometimes. Where assignee is me. There we go. So now I have one view where I would be able to see everything that needed doing, and then a filtered one where it's just showing what I need to do. It's quite a simple one. And then, what's the final thing? Oh yeah, so I made this to kind of show which recurring things in our house, like the last time they were done. So there are things in here that don't need doing every day, but you can forget when was the last time you did it. So this is just a view to keep track of that stuff. So if I come back into here, you can see I have all of the different things, the done button again, when they were last updated and by who, and then this date in something that's a bit more readable. So the formula for this, it's quite simple. It's basically what is the day difference between the now, so the time now, and then the last updated value. So it's, yeah. And then that will give you quite a human readable string, I guess you'd call it. And then you can use that to make layouts that are more helpful than having it all in one table. So let's do that here. You will go into layout, then gallery again. You don't need a card preview. Medium's fine. Properties, we want to show now the last updated, like the words, and then the done button. So the reason why I want to show last updated words rather than last updated is if I show this, I'll need to do the mental arithmetic of like, oh, okay, so October 7th, that was 21 days ago. It was 3 weeks. That sounds about right. Whereas if I have it here, then it just saves me that step. Just automating that little bit of maths. And then the done button. Oh, I don't think I showed you that actually. So this automation it just changes the last updated date to the date that the button was pressed. Again, quite simple, but you can see how these things, you can build them up to be quite powerful. And having it in this view means that, I mean, this one's good for being able to click done and stuff disappears off of your to-do list. But then this one, it's good because they're not things that are done, they're things that are done, but you'll have to do them again in the future, you know? And so let's say, for example, here I clean the drains today. So I click done and it will move down here to today. As I tick stuff off, it will move to the bottom of the list. That's kind of how that works. I think that's kind of everything that was in the existing dashboard. Yeah. So now I'm going to step through. So that's done. As you can see, like, it didn't really take that long. Like, the databases being there already helped a lot, but ultimately it's not too, it doesn't take long once you know what you're doing. Ooh, another fun thing I'm just going to do actually is add a little space down here. Just like make it a bit more visually even, a bit more polish. Right, what was I going to walk through? New page layouts. So this is the bit where it starts to get a bit ad lib. So one thing that was launched at the Make with Notion sort of showcase was new page layouts. So what we mean by that is when you have a page like this, normally you have, if it's a page within a database, you have all of its properties at the top here. And this list can get, if you're doing something quite complex, this list can get huge, it can get messy. So what Notion has done is they've created this new tool where you will be able to configure a bit more, you can customize a bit better what appears where, which things are hidden. So for example, here in this property group from before, if I didn't want to see the last edited time on here, or the, maybe I'm not using this right. Bearing in mind this is me learning it for the first time as well. No, let me try that again. So, oh no, I know now. Okay, so here you can remove the property group, which is the default thing that appears underneath the title, into a side menu. So then it leaves just the page, like the key properties you want to show on the page itself. So, for example here, let's pin who needs to do it, and then if it has a due date. Which I think is really cool, is underneath, and this isn't a great example to be honest, underneath the title where you've got the core things that have been pinned, you can then include a separate sort of larger showcasing group. So for example here, if you wanted to highlight the created time, that's not a really helpful one. Let's do something a bit, actually yeah, let's just put last edited time on there for the sake of the example. So if I apply this change, then you can see now that it's a bit tidier. You don't have to think about any of the other like created date, anything like that. It's all hidden in this sidebar here. Let's edit this again actually. You can remove this and then show the done button. And then within this, we hide these. So then when you come to this page, now you've just got the things you need. So who it's assigned to, when it's due by, and then the done button down here. I suppose I could move the done button up here actually. And then all of the other things are collapsed into this sidebar. I love this. I've not really had too much of an opportunity to play with it. But the potential for just being able to go back and tidy up all of your properties on a page, like, oh, wonderful. Let's see, actually, if I go to that dashboard view again. How would you edit this one? So move them all to the side. If you wanted as the thumbnail here, and it's not that helpful. Thumbnail here. So you could start with the thumbnail at the top, then the pinned property could be things like, what is it? Where would I find it? And then maybe within this, you could add and then there's so much potential here. Yeah, obviously, maybe I could have picked a more a meatier database to try and play these properties with, but you can see how, being able to move the different things out of your primary view to keep a really clean main view. That's really nice. Okay. So that's vaguely all I know about page layouts. Obviously, always open to questions, always open to exploring. Then, let's see, forms. Okay, so forms is something where, so in the past you would have to submit you'd have to use a third-party tool to be able to collect information and then put that into your Notion databases, right? So if you had like a Google Forms to collect all of your responses, and then you exported that and put it into a Notion database, so then you could do stuff with it. But the pain point, that pain point's kind of been solved for simple cases now with forms. So let's see if I can turn this into a form. So at the moment, if I wanted to add a new TV show or a new film or something, I would have to create a separate form and then try and pipe it into this database. So let's see if I can add form. Auto create form questions based on existing properties. No, I'll start from scratch. Let's see. Add something to watch. And then I won't do description for now. Form cover. Let's add one for Unsplash. If it'll load. Otherwise, this carpet's fine. This carpet's lovely. So then you can say, what is the film show called? And you can see this links to the have I? No, am I being silly? View linked property. Ha, okay. Let's see what happens. Oh no, I see. Okay. No, I don't see. Okay. What is the film show called? Then what is it? And then only allowing them to choose one option. Because it can either be a series or a film. Then you could say, where can I watch it? And then I guess because stuff can be on multiple platforms. Go there. And maybe that is the wrong one. Yeah, okay. That was just me being silly. What is it? Where can I watch it? That will do for now. Okay, so this, you can see how quick it was to just build this up. Rather than having to go into here, add all the different bits and bobs. Let's remove that for now. And again, this is just me kind of exploring the possibilities, not necessarily building something complete. I just want to show you how easy it is to take the first steps, just like I'm doing here. So then, to share this form, anyone that governs with the link, that's fine. And I guess then, and this is where Notion gets a little bit fun, because you can just dive into all the different possibilities. So for example here, I can say, who suggested this? And this can be a person. Delete this one. Here, add, unless I can just when actually bear with, actually, 1 second. Okay, that's going to take too much. I was going to share this form, like, log into a private window, share the form, see if it would work. But yeah, that's not happening. I should have prepped for that, but that's okay. You can still see how you would go about building forms. Let's try the preview actually. Submitting response as me. So then what happens then if I it doesn't say who suggested it. Okay. That would be good to add in. Maybe there's a way to do that. Again, this is on me for not doing my homework. When page added. Okay. I'm gonna abandon this just because there's too many unknowns for me, and it's late. So, right. I feel like I can check that off though. I have kind of shown forms. I've kind of gone through the very basics of how you'd set it up, and I hope you can already see the benefits of having this as a form rather than here. So I'm thinking, as an example, my partner who isn't, oh, come on. My partner who isn't particularly is that okay? Oh gosh, okay. I assume it is. Yeah, so my partner who isn't particularly as on board with Notion as I am, I can just send him this link, and if he wants to add something, he can kind of fill in the form here rather than having to figure out which database is the correct one, have to go in, make sure I don't put it in wrong, and then you'll get upset, like that sort of thing. So yeah, I see a lot of benefit in this, particularly for making it easier for people who don't necessarily use Notion as much as I do to get involved. So yeah, form's done. I have a bit more time, so I think what I'm going to try now is looking at automation. So automation, as I've kind of, which one is it? Was it this? No, not necessarily. I thought I picked one with an automation on. No worries. Where would be a good place to put that? I'm just trying to think of a good place to put automations in, just to show you a little bit more about how they could work. Okay, let's go back to our films tracker. So at the moment, the only thing you can really do with this is say whether or not you've watched it. Let's put in some kind of like rating system. I think, yeah, let's give that a go. Right, let's start here. Add a section, rating. And then let's make a button. Come on, where is Batu? Am I? No, am I going mad? Okay. Maybe I need to do it here. Button. Okay. Maybe a bug. Maybe not sure. Rating good. Wait. Yeah. Rating okay. Properties hide everything just so I can add this in a little bit easier. Properties. So what I'm trying to do here, in a very, I know I said at the beginning I'd made a plan, like I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but then clearly I didn't think this far. And then rating bad. This can also be a button. Rating okay. I forgot, can I rename the button? That's how I rename it. Okay, that's okay. We can work with this. bad. Okay, great. Okay, all right, that's fine. So then what we can have is, what did you think? And then that at the moment can be text. That's okay. So then let's start with this. So when I click the button, first, oh, this isn't gonna use the new variables at all, is it? Okay, I mean, I'll do this anyway because I think it's an interesting thing to add, but this isn't going to really touch on the new stuff. I'll think of another use case while I'm going through this. So let's start by what I'm trying to do is customize the layout. So I'm trying to build in here. Bad. Or is it worth putting them in here? Yeah, let's put it there for now. Whatever, that's fine. So I'm trying to put in a thing where you can rate the thing you're watching, and then its rating will appear somewhere. Actually, one more, then I will add. What did you think? There. So hopefully when you push a button, this property will change. Edit automation. When the button is clicked, edit property, text as formula to be style. This one was rubbish. Red. And then right back. Edit this page. What did you think? It was rubbish. I don't know if you can set, actually this is a good experiment. I don't know if you can set styled text as the text value here. You can, great. So then let's do the same for, oh, I might as well write from scratch. Edit property, what did you think? Two. Oh, actually, and this is on me again for not really knowing too deeply what exactly was in the new updates and what wasn't. So one thing you can do now is you can take properties from within a page and use them as variables. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this page dot, what's it called? Was great. And then, because I want to style this. Oh, it was okay. And then we'll make this one yellow. Yellow background. So you can see here, I'm saying that when you push the button at this level, you take the name of this page, wherever it was clicked, and pull it in as a variable here, and then add on the text at the end, was okay. And then set the style of that, because you can see here style, it's taking something as its first input, then comma, and the comma comes here, which means it's taking everything here, and then styling it as yellow text with a yellow background. Moment of truth. Testing was okay. Let's just do it with something else. Oppenheimer was okay. I think that's new, I think. Okay, for great, let's try and do something even spicier. So, properties. Just gonna close that completely. Properties. Streamable. Okay, so some of them are streamable. Edit automation. When the button is clicked, let's set, what did you think, to a formula. Let's say if streamable can, oh, this page. If the page I'm on at the moment, if streamable is checked, then you can say this stream was great. The streamable was great. Otherwise, this not streamable. This is so contrived. This not streamable was great. What did I do there? Let's save it before I break it any further. Okay, so now what should happen when I click the great button on a streamable thing, it should include streamable. And if I click it on a not streamable, it says not streamable. Okay, so with the updated automations, you can include styling, or not styling, you can include Boolean logic, you can include, no. Is that? Okay, oh my gosh, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm gonna keep going because this is actually quite fun. So okay, let's say if the page is streamable, this streamable, and then I want to pull in the type. So if I say, is there a way to access those from here? Oh no, I see what I'm doing wrong. Okay. So when you're joining two bits of text together, and I've gone over this in my more comprehensive formulas stream, you need to kind of attach them together with plus signs if you're going to put in something that isn't just text. So that's what I'm having to do here. So this streamable, this page, type was great. Let's see if I can just copy this. This not streamable. That's great. Let's just see what happens. This streamable series was great, and then it was a film. this not streamable film was great. Okay. Let's keep going. Only one more, just while I'm having so much fun. I'm sure like learning by watching is fine. Hopefully at some point in the future, someone, maybe me, is trying to recreate this and kind of scrub backwards and forwards through, but for now I'm just having a good time. This streamable lower. So lower is a formatting formula that converts everything to a lowercase text. So you could see before it capitalized series, which I don't want. Do it here as well. And then style. Can I just style the whole thing? I don't think I've ever tried this before. Oh, you can. Cool. Hooray. Right. Yeah. So I probably should have checked this before the start, but I'm not. I think it's new. I think being able to define variables within your automations. If not, that was a recap. It says here defining variables is new. So, ooh. Maybe. Can I do this? No. You can only do it by this page. Edit pages in. I'm sure there's something else we can do. Maybe one for the future. So before I get too into the reads, just because this is a bit of an insight just into how I learned Notion, I guess, is I just tried one thing. I was like, oh, that works. Does this work? And I just do that for 20 odd minutes. And then by the end, you can come to the conclusion that yes, buttons are smarter now. You can inject properties from a page into the results of this. I haven't really done it on this stream, but earlier today as well, I was playing around with, and I don't know if I've got time to do it properly now, but as well as the buttons within these databases. And I can't remember which of the streams it was that I also went through standalone buttons. So you can do automations like you do here, but within an independent button as well. So one thing I was playing with was when you add a page to, let's just for the example add it to a watch list again. But another thing I did, and I'll revisit this. I'll think of a fun use case for this. But then let's say I wanted to have it as, how did I do it? Yeah, so the context I was using this in is if I wanted to create like a journal entry where I had the title as the current date in a particular format. So before, the way I tried to do that, albeit unsuccessfully actually, was with the template for a page in a database. But now what you can do, and again, I really can't remember if this is like, I knew this was the case before and I've just forgotten, or if this is new. What I can do now is I can push the button and then use a formula to create a formatted heading or a formatted title for that page. So I'll show that in action here. So what is the film/show called is the title of the database here, or the page. What is this film show called? And the title I want to give it is equal to the current date, format date now, in this format. So the number, just the date number, I guess it'd be 28, and then month. So here this would be October. Yeah. So that is another very cool thing. And if you are into automations and just making fun little products, then this will be very exciting for you. Because in the past, I've seen people use buttons to like navigate to different pages, to open different pages, create new pages. But I feel like once you start adding in the different formulas for things, you can imagine over time this list of potential options you're going to get is going to grow. Yeah, very exciting stuff. Exciting if you're into no code anyway. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't find this exciting, but I definitely do. One other fun thing I've just thought of, which I do probably have time to go into, is, and I'll put this full page again so we can see it properly. So let's have a number. How many times have we watched this? So what we can do is create a button. I feel like all of my templates, all of my every Notion page I make moving forward is gonna be full of buttons. I love them so much. They're so cute, so good, so functional. I watched this again. So what we can do is we can say when you click the button, edit property. How many times have we watched this? And we can say what we want to do is we want to see how many times it's already been watched. So by looking at this page is how many times have you watched it? And then just add one to it. Like that. It's simple, right? Like it's so simple. Edit this page. How many times have you watched it? I watched it again. I watched it again. And again. And again. Like this would make the habit trackers so much more, like so much richer. At the moment, people will use these kind of checkboxes and have big tables. But if you could just kind of increment stuff, like it's, and then combining this with this view. So you could say here, properties, how many times have you watched it? I watched this again. No, let's do one more fun thing. I'm still getting used to that. Let's put it in. Then we can say I have watched this times. Let's do something a little bit funny. If this, well, let me do an if statement as a, okay. Let times, no, okay, let's just be done for now. Times. Oh no, okay. So I've covered this before, but if you're trying to squash together a text and a number, that won't work. It needs to be you're squashing a text and a text together, and at the moment this bit in the middle is returning a number. So we need to do format. Oh. And then remember to put the bracket in the right place. And then that's fine. Can we change this to, oh, it's gonna make me change it there, isn't it? Change this to text. Yep, there we go. Nearly. I have watched this. Where? Oh, okay. No. Okay. I'm trying to be too smart. Okay. Let's try this again. So, if you're like me and you aren't like, you know, some people focus on Notion formulas for like their bread and butter. I'm good, but I'm not efficient. I think that's the way of putting it. So, number of times. And then, how many times? So then what we can say is, remove, edit a property, number of times watched is equal to this page dot number of times watched plus 1. How many times is equal to I have now watched this this page dot Number of times watched. Times. Is it going to get me to format it? Yep. Wait. Maybe I need to... That's an interesting thing. Okay. That's better. Okay. So, just for future Amy's reference, if you put in 2 property updates in here, they will run concurrently. So if you update something and then you want to use the updated value in something else, you got to put it in that second bit or into another step. That's fine. That's good. Glad we learned. Okay, so right, I think that's all I wanted to go through for today. It was a little bit rambly, a little bit messy, but I feel like I've learned a lot. And it's already giving me ideas for other templates I can adapt, other pages I can change, which is always a good thing. You know, when you've been using a tool for as long as I have, whenever something gets updated, it's always exciting. But that's part of the joy of using it, you know, it's playing with all the new toys you keep getting. So yeah, I want to do more of these in the future. Still trying to figure out a cadence of like what times work, what people are interested in watching, if these videos are helpful to go back and watch again, or if it's just something where this format isn't really helpful unless there are people asking questions. But otherwise, like, yeah, I have fun making these. I have a good time. I can check that off. Yeah, I think that's it for today. And maybe as well I can branch out into tools that aren't Notion, to be honest. Like, there's a lot that I can share, a lot that I can teach people. I'm using Notion just because I'm confident and I have a lot of fun, as you can see. But yeah, always up to learn and share other things I've done. So yeah, hope this was helpful to someone somewhere. If not, it was good for me. And I will hopefully catch you at some other point in the future. Thanks.